Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Lazaris, and I'm going to be walking y'all through Adobe Express today. So I'm super excited. Today, we're going to be working on a weightlifting, fitness class, gym membership, whatever kind of brand you want to build in that fitness space, we're going to be working on today. So I'm going to teach you some tips and tricks. But first of all, I want to say hello to all of our friends in chat. I see Cody Bear, Andreas, Sean, General Kenobi, Carol Pearl. Welcome. I'm so excited to see you all today. I'm excited to jump in. So without further ado, let's jump over to my screen and I'm going to start showing you some of the great little features you can do within Adobe Express. This is really kind of your streamlined all-in-one design platform. You don't have to do any design work or have previous design experience to be able to make really cool, incredible graphics really quickly. So I'm super excited to show you in 30 minutes, we can make several different logos and have some fun beefing up your fitness brand. So I'm super excited. Really quickly, you can see some of the quick actions you can do within Adobe Express. You can do remove background, crop images, convert them to JPEGs or PNGs. You can also use it with video assets as well. So you can trim them. You can make your own TikTok dance moves or Instagram reels, whatever you need to do. You can do that really quickly within Adobe Express. Not a designer, not a problem at all. So I'm going to start showing you. So come on over. We're going to go into the next tab, which is your just homepage for Adobe Express. On this left side, you'll see you can click the plus button and it will show you. You can create brand new collateral pieces from templates if you want to. You can also look back at previous projects you've done. You can see some of the brands you've made as well. I will show you how to use this brand panel in a bit. Towards the end of this, you can also use your Adobe Creative Cloud libraries as well. So awesome stuff here. I always like to show people around the homepage really quickly. From the homepage, you can start pulling in quick templates already. This top tray up here shows you all the things that you can start to pull. You can pull, Facebook posts, Instagram posts, logos, flyers, collages, anything you might be needing for any of your marketing needs really quickly and easily. So down here, you got your quick action tray as well. But right now, we're only focusing on your brand. So we're going to go into here and we're going to click the create new button and we're going to go down to logo. So it's going to give us a default square image canvas size. We can also play with our own canvas dimensions over on the side if we want to change that. But for a logo, I typically like to stay within the square canvas. It allows for a lot of flexibility and the logo is most of the time just going to be taking up a square, especially if you're posting on social media profile images or things like that. It allows you to really quickly, just one-to-one, not have to redo your logo every single time. On the left tray over here, you can see some templates to start, which is awesome. I think this is a really good way if sometimes you're looking at, maybe you don't know how to make a logo, you just need some good, quick inspiration. What we can do is just quickly click on this and start changing your logo. So let's say instead of a drift, maybe we'll just call this lifted, okay? Something like that. We're going to go with a lot of workout themes today. Okay, the RV not working for me. Obviously, we're a fitness brand. So let's type in weights in this shapes panel. And so you can see here, you've got kettlebells, you've got scales, you've got kind of nutrition icons, you've got people. So you have a ton of different things you can do in this tray or this section. If I just quickly click on one of these kettlebells, it's going to change out that item. So that's awesome. It also has the option, if I was to back out, to ungroup this, and I can just click on this one individual layer or this shape, and then I can click replace. And that will bring back up that panel so you can quickly find any of the creative ideas you have. Maybe it's like person, it will be your person icon, and then you can put them in there. So if you need somebody like kind of triumphantly standing up, you can absolutely do that. But let's go back to weights. Because we are a workout brand, what are we going to do? So maybe I want some dumbbells. That feels okay, but it doesn't really complement the typeface I like, and I really like this typeface. So I want to change that out again, really quickly replace, and I'm going to pull maybe these very geometric barbells. Barbells, is that the right? You can tell I work out a lot. All right, so lifted, that starts to complement each other really nicely because of the geometric nature of the lifted type. So it feels big, bold, blocky, and the icon that we're using is also big, bold, and blocky. So that works really nicely. And then I'll do fitness classes in the RV rental. So I'll go up here in the top right and click in and Control A or Command A, and then I will type fitness classes. And so that's kind of big, right? So it doesn't really fit on this canvas as well as I'd like. So I'm just going to pull from the corner and start to shrink it in and then center it on by snapping to the pink or the pink magenta dotted line. So that's going to tell me the center of the canvas of the artboard. That's great. I'm going to pull it over. You also have different options with the typeface. You can change out how it is gridded. I'm going to remove San Diego, California. And now you've got a really simple mark. I'm just going to adjust spacing just a tiny bit between the two elements or the three elements. I can also start to pull them, and I can snap by going to the align section tool. This is going to align to the left. This is going to align to the right. And then, but I want it to be in the middle, which is great. That allows me to have the options to kind of align any of my positioning of all my elements. So this is really quickly, we already made a whole logo for ourselves in what, like 3 minutes, like incredible. So I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to center this. Actually, I'm going to group this. So I'm going to click group. And then now I'm going to center this whole thing in both the middle of the artboard. And now that's our logo. We can use that if we want, or we can also start exploring other ones. So I'm going to say, I'm going to name this lifted by typing in the next to the projects panel, next to these breadcrumbs, and just go in there, boom, save it. Now it's automatically saved and it's labeled correctly. So if I want to, I can also, work on different logos. Let's make another one. So this one's kind of interesting as well. Let's see here. Is there any that are speaking to me for a fitness class? I'm going to say that I want to work with maybe this one. This is a little bit more complicated. It's originally for a candle company. I'm going to actually just go in here, grab a similar icon again, like we did. I'm going to type in weights. And maybe I like the hand holding this kettlebell. I think that's kind of powerful. It has a similar visual language to some of the elements that are already happening in this space, like these are ornate kind of symbols complement how this is working. So I'm actually going to flip it over and make it almost like a celebration, or like a overhead press, and then pull that in there. I'm going to end up changing out this typeface. Let's see if there's any great ones that we like in this main style section with the typefaces here. I want something that feels probably similar weighted to the line weights inside of these like ornate features. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to type in, chat, you always help me with puns. If you have pun names that you want to use for this, let's do it. Let's see here. I'm going to just do big gains. Big gains to start. Obviously, you can name whatever your business you want. Boom. Let's see here. So that's pretty big. Maybe I want it to be a little bit more spread out. I'm also going to change this. I like the idea of, puns are a thing that I love to do. So I'm going to do lift, laugh, love, because everybody needs a little bit of positivity in their life. Let's see here. I'm going to use Poppins regular, and I'm going to just start pulling it down. Start playing with the spacing. I'm going to actually change the letter spacing by clicking this VA with the width tool on there. And I can start to play with how close the letters are to each other. And then that will allow me to create more space and make the letters smaller without overwhelming the content. So by doing that, it's giving us a lot more visual space. I can now pull up these elements. I might want to keep those similar size. Maybe I need to play with both of them. So I'm going to click both with the shift tool, and then I'm going to start pulling out from the corner. It's going to allow me to expand the size of these pieces. I can group them. And then what I can do with that grouping now is, again, do the lock on down the middle. And now I've got that lift and the love, kind of both sides of it, kind of going with the kind of radiant area. I'm going to slide up this weight real quick. And then I'm going to start playing with some big gains. Let's see how it goes. Penny says, oh my gosh, lift, laugh, love. Yes, gotta have lift, laugh, love. Let's see what other things. I kind of want a typeface that feels a little bit thicker. So maybe Riff Soft might work. Might be a little bit too, let me see here. Is this gonna give me what I want? Let's see here, if they have a Proxima Nova, just a tiny bit thicker. I'm gonna go with like a bold here, just so it's obvious that this is the business name and not just another element. So within this template, we have these beautiful shapes that was already provided to us as part of the template. What we can do here is just pull that up, pull up the bottom, and now we've got a really cool arch logo done again in just a couple of minutes. We can just pull this down. I can group it, and what I can do is start to slide it back down into the space. Awesome. If we really wanted to, we could ungroup this. We could also start messing with additional shapes. So if I wanted to put it like a rectangle behind, I will type in rectangle and I'll get a shape icon. I can click that, pull it in, and then I can start messing with the shape language on it as well. So I can change the width and the height of it. That will give me a little bit more of a separation or a hierarchy. What I'm going to do is actually go to the layers panel in this section here. I'm going to pull that below that rectangle color palette that we just dropped in. I'm going to pull that below big gains. I'm going to click on big gains again, and I'm going to change big gains into our current color palette, which is this background color. I can also just grab the eyedropper tool and click in the space, and it will copy that same color palette. And that feels pretty interesting. I think it might actually work with the hand feeling like it's coming out of the colored rectangle. So it's actually quite nice. I'm going to just lower down the size a tiny bit for big gains. I think it's a little bit too big. The gains are too big. Who would have thought? I see Anika. What's up, everybody? All right, cool. So this is now snapped to the middle. We're in a good spot. So boom, done. Now let's move to our main brand that we're going to be working on called Swolemates. And I'll show you, if you want to make something completely custom, you can absolutely do that yourself as well. Let me put big gains and label everything here. Big gains, boom, done. So that's great. That's super easy. Now we're just going to make our own from scratch. If you want all the creative freedom, it's at your fingertips. So boom, click the logos. Now I'm going to name this Swolemates 2 because I already have one Swolemates. So blank canvas, starting from scratch. What I'm going to do here is go to the shapes panel. I'm going to type in weights. I've been watching a lot of pirate shows lately, so I have a kind of affinity for the skull and crossbones kind of idea. So with Swolemates being a pun on, two people getting swole together, I wanted to find kind of an option that allows me to pair both the, lifting and partnership together. And I'm going to use that by having two barbells. Let me grab there's a very specific one I'm looking for. And I saw it a second ago. I think I did. Let's find it. I think it is. I'm close. I'm close, chat. I can feel it. All right. Well, I can't find the specific one I wanted to use earlier, but I'll just throw this in here. I need something with a little bit more. Almost there. Yes, found it. We're saved. All right. So this is one bar. What I'm going to do is actually just convert this to black. I always prefer to design in black for logos originally, so you can start to really see what the shape is that you're building. What I'm going to do here is duplicate this, and then I'm going to take the rotation tool, which is this arrow that's turned in a rotation direction, and I'm going to just snap it and do another 45-degree angle, turn on it. What I'm going to do is actually going to pair both of these together. I'm going to align horizontally and center it vertically. And now you've got this beautiful kind of X pattern happening from both of the weights. And then what I'm going to do is add another shape. I'm going to choose a heart. And boom, now I'm going to just drag this in and plop it in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to already choose my pink that I've already chosen for our brand color palette, but you can always choose any colors that work for you here. If you make a brand color palette, it will show up by default at the top. I'm choosing this like kind of pink because it's known as millennial pink. And I feel like this is just a really fun color palette. It's very popular. It's very trendy. I think it's a good way of getting, both that trendy vibe, but also a good way of separating the two spaces of the barbells in the background and then the heart on top. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to group it all together. And then I'm going to type in our text. So you can add in your text, or you can throw in any kind of text defaults that we have already built. So if you wanted to, you could throw in this almost like wedding invite. It's great, but I don't really want to do that for Swolemates. You can go in there, You type in Soulmates. Boom. So that could work really well for, you just throw that in there. Awesome. But what I want to do is actually a different typeface. So I'm going to show you, click add your text. I'm going to click in there, double click to edit. Then I'm going to type in swole. I'm going to type in all caps. Boom. And then I'm going to type in Franklin. Let's do Franklin Gothic. And I'm going to do, maybe I want condensed. Let's see here. Do I have condensed? Yeah. So demi condensed. See that typeface starts to complement the weight of both the heaviness of the weights, the thickness of the visual language on it as well. And so you start to have a really nice complementary, just the type and the logo mark itself are starting to complement each other really nicely. I can also just bump this up. It's a little bit too small now. What I'm gonna do is just try to keep, yeah, that's nice. So Soulmates works really well. What we can do also is we can start to download this. So if I wanted to, I can just download this as a PNG. Let me make sure that everything is actually centered correctly together. I'm going to group it, and then I'm going to move this down to the center of the page. So what we can do is, if we want to keep the bounding box pretty, consistent, we can play with the space around it. We can make sure that the logo is super big. You can also go in here and start to download it now. So now that this is centered on the canvas, we can click download. You can save it as a PNG, a JPEG, a PDF, anything you might need for your project. I'm going to click PNG. I'm going to click transparent PNG. What this will do is that white background you're seeing will not show up. So that's going to be super helpful. And that will allow you to plop it into any of the other pieces you have. What I like to do with these logos is make sure that I have different color options for different kind of content and pieces that I might be working on. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to actually change the background. I'm going to make this pink. I'm going to make the fill on the heart white. And I'm going to do this now for a download on PNG. So just in case I might need a different color palette with the heart, that's no problem. I have that option now that I can upload directly into the brand kit as well. You also have the option to just completely go in there and just change everything. So if I need a white logo, what I can do is I can just change out the background, go in, adjust the fills. I can have that white heart there if I want to. Sometimes, especially with a logo like this, it's a little bit tricky. I might just want to have a two-color logo. I recommend always making sure that your logo can work only in one color if you need to. But for the sake of this project, I'm going to just make it all white really quickly just to make sure that, or dual tone for any of the collateral we're working on. And then I'm going to download this as well as a PNG. And then boom, transparent. So that gives me tons of options now. And I'll show you from here. What you can do is go into our, homepage. Our project is going to save. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our brands page. I'm going to click manage. So I've already started this. What I'll show you is you can start from scratch. So I can click create a brand. Actually, let me show you real quick. Go back into my homepage. Projects. I'm going to grab this project. Actually, I have this one I can just pull really quickly. This already has a lift, laugh, love type below it. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to click pull down as like a JPEG. Now you have full color palette on the background and the foreground. So what I'm going to do is go back to my homepage. I'm going to click into brands. I'm going to create a brand. So this is, I think, one of my favorite things, and it's going to be super powerful for you when you're working on your own collateral to upload your own logo. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click uploads. I'm going to click, okay, I've got my Soulmates logo here. That's my one JPEG logo by default. I'm going to pick my colors. It's going to pull from my current logo color palette as well. So I just can click save that, or I can change anything here. If I want, a dark red, a light red, any of those things, those are options. But I want the brand color palettes to be on brand, right? So I'm going to keep that pink that we already chose. And then I can choose additional typefaces if I want. I think that Futura is strong enough. I think it'll be a good backup. And then we can always go in and default change some of like Franklin and all these other things later on. And then click next. And what's going to happen is Soulmates 2, since I already have one Soulmates brand, what you're going to do is you're just going to create a custom brand for you. You can go in here, and this is where taking all those beautiful logos you've already made, throwing them in there, gives you those options to pull stuff very, very quickly. So I'm going to say, okay, I want the Swolemates with the black logo. I'm going to want Swolemates with the white logo. There we go, white with the black heart. So now I have two different variants, both with transparent background. So I'm not using the full color logo all the time, because sometimes having that bounding box of the square with the background color can be very limiting for some of your designs. So it allows you to have flexibility. And now those are saved. I can add as many as I want. So you can have as many different kind of options to play with. Gives you a lot of flexibility. You can also add more colors in. So maybe I want, some grays, or I want some like blues, things like that might pair or contrast it nicely. I might want something like this. Okay, cool. Blues in, saved. We can always adjust this later on. We can always replace or make it a primary color. Super helpful. It gives you tons and tons of flexibility. So now, whenever you're going to make collateral, like tomorrow when you come back, we'll make some collateral and you'll see how it looks with the actual color palettes and default type and fonts. Cool. I adjusted that blue, make it feel a little bit more in alignment. It's great. We'll do a really, really quick another logo in the last 4 minutes we have. So it's super exciting. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just going to start from scratch. I'm going to choose shapes. I'm going to try a train. We're going to make a brand called the Gain Train. So let's see what icon I can find really quickly. So I'm going to grab this train. Boom. All right, black again. Let's make it black. I'm going to take this. I like the momentum going the other way for a Gain Train. So I'm going to actually go over here and I'm going to click flip horizontally. That will make the train go the other way. Who knew that getting a train to change directions would be so easy? All right, Gain Train. Let's type it in. Let's go Gain Train. Something like that. I wonder if Franklin will be a good one still. Let's do condensed because of, maybe we need it to be all caps. Gain, oops, got to select all type, Gain Train. Boom. That's starting to look good. I'm going to pull this out just a tiny bit here. And then that will allow me to lock up the type there. I'm going to need just a quick little rectangle. And the shapes panel, boom, make that black. And then just gonna give it a little bit of like a train bed. So pull that this way. So very, very simple. Boom, pow, Gain Train. Look at that. That was so quick. Now you have another logo. You can play with that as much as you want. You can start playing with puns. You can, build whatever you want within this space. Let me take out that space actually. That'll make it a lot easier for me to lock up. And then I'm gonna actually play with some of the scale and just nudge it up with my arrow keys, up, up, up. Perfect. Now I like how the kind of this area here allows for the space of the G. It really starts to flow from both the train front to the train back. So yeah, this is really, really simple, really quick. You've seen in just a matter of moments how quickly you can make brand new logos from scratch. You can use templates. You can start building your brand with it. It's really exciting in terms of just the flexibility that you can have with it. Another thing you can do with our type tool here is I'm actually going to just duplicate this really, really fast. Duplicate. Let's see here. I'm going to just use like stacking plates, lifting weights. What I can do with this type tool is start to play with some of the grid stuff. So you can start seeing how by doing a magic type, you can do things like this, which would be just a cool t-shirt. If I had a t-shirt mock-up, I could just throw stacking plates, lifting weights directly onto it. Whatever your pun is, whatever your slogan, whatever your tagline is, you can very, very quickly get work out the door that both is inspiring to both your clientele, but also could be good merchandising, could be a great YouTube content piece or anything that you're doing with your brand, you have the ability to quickly make very, very, very fast within Adobe Express. So with that, we will be wrapping up. We are going to be answering, can you export these proper file formats, for instance, EPS? No, you cannot export these as EPS, but you can save them as PDFs and JPEGs and PNGs. So it's pretty much anything you might be needing just to get your business off the ground. Super, super easy. But yeah, not in the EPS yet. But thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. I hope you had so much fun with some of these workout puns. We'll be back tomorrow working on some flyers. I'll take the Swolemates brand and we'll start applying it to a bunch of things. We'll be building templates from scratch. We'll be building it off of templates. Whatever you need for your business, come on over tomorrow and hang out with us again. We'll see you all soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.